Metal Up World, this is CJ Ortiz of cjortiz.com and metalmotivation.com. Welcome to my Life Domination online coaching program. This is something I've been doing for a while now, and it's something that I would encourage you to be a part of if you're interested, if you're ready to get out of where you are in life and get to where you want to be, if you're ready for some significant changes. I don't care what it is, financial, in terms of your job, relationships, just your own personal well-being, health, your mindset, then I encourage you to join the Life Domination online coaching program. Here's the way it works. I always create each week 5 videos that I show over 5 days on one subject per week. And the objective here is to cover a theme for 1 week. All those videos are shown in a private Facebook group where you and I will be able to participate. But here's the best part, along with a host of other subscribers just like yourself that are also a part of the group. These are people that are committed. These are people who are determined to bring change in their own life. So you're in there. There's no critics. There's no haters. There's no trolls, nothing like this, no negativity. And of course, we share our concerns. We share our struggles, but we're able to encourage. We're able to build each other up. We're able to help us get through particular dark seasons, answer questions. We've had people just even here recently just asking questions of the group. And you would not believe the wisdom that gets shared by so many people that are a part of that group. So I encourage you to join it. And again, 5 videos per week on one subject shown in a private Facebook group that is administered by me. And again, you're in there with a host of other people that are equally committed. And it's cost less than 70 cents a day. So if you'd like to learn more about it, just visit metalmotivation.com/life domination coaching. But what we're covering today is, and all this week, is turning your apathy into ass-kicking action. Turning your apathy into ass-kicking action. This is episode 1, apathy. What is apathy? Apathy is a word we don't use much, but it's a word I hope you understand. The reason being is because I'm seeing it plague so many people. I know that I've struggled with it in the past. When you get to those places in life where you just become indifferent to things. That's what apathy means. It means to be indifferent. It means to live with a lack of interest. It means you show no enthusiasm for what you used to be enthusiastic about. When you're no longer motivated for that which you used to be motivated about. Where you're no longer concerned about that which you used to be concerned about, what used to move you, what used to really give you that sense of conviction, what used to really fire you up in life, no longer fires you up anymore. You're struggling because there is no fire, there is no flame in your life, and you might be in that place right now, dealing with just a melancholy malaise over your thinking, where the embers of your heart are just not burning white hot anymore, where you just seem like there's been a bunch of wet sand poured over your personal flame. And that's a terrible place to be in, man, because you wonder, am I going to be like this all the time? Is this the way I'm always going to be? Am I always going to be in this place where I'm just indifferent, where I'm just not moved, where I'm just not being concerned about anything? Then the bad part about that is you then become lethargic. You become lazy. You become easily bored. I can't remember the last time I ever said I was bored. But apathy can affect us to the place to where we're just so indifferent to everything going on around us that we do become bored. We're bored because there's no interest in anything. We're bored because we're just not feeling that fire anymore, the fire of personal interest. And when it gets really bad is when you have no interest to develop yourself, and that's a shame, man. For some people, when they get out of high school or college, that's about it. They're not going to work on themselves anymore. They're not going to read books. They're not going to, go to seminars. They're not going to listen to something like this. And, they're just not going to do it because they just feel like all they have to do is earn a living and, feed their bellies and, take care of a few responsibilities and just watch football or go to movies or do whatever they do. Now, you're not breaking any laws if you do that. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not trying to condemn it. I just know that if deep inside, underneath every aspect of you, no matter where you are in life, there's a fire, there's a conviction, there's still a sensibility in there. Your conscience is still pricking you saying, this is not all there is for us. There's so much more I can do. There's so much more I can live for. There's so much more I can be. And that's what personal development is all about. It's developing and maximizing your resources. What are your resources? All that you are, all that you can do, all that you possess. Maximize your resources for a purpose greater than yourself. And if you don't have that drive in your life, then you might be suffering from apathy, indifference, lack of interest, no enthusiasm, showing no concern for things, just being lethargic or lazy, easily bored. You see people online saying, I'm so bored today. How do you get that way? How do you get to that place? Well, talking about things online, on social media, something like, Facebook, your news feed can be filled with so much garbage, so many, bad news stories, so many stories about the troubles that are going on in this world, about the suffering that goes on in this world. And pretty soon you're just on information overload. You're on bad news overload. It's like enough already, okay? I've heard enough about shootings. I've heard enough about, people suffering. I've heard enough about war. I've heard enough about murder. I've heard enough about theft. I've heard enough about corrupt politicians. I've heard enough about bad economies. I've heard enough about all of it. Enough already. And you can begin to become numb to life. You can begin to become numb to things because it's enough already. Well, that can push you into apathy, and you become lazy, and you've lost that enthusiasm, you've lost that fire. And part of the things that I'm trying to do, and I have to do this to myself, okay? So I'm not putting myself on a pedestal in any way, shape, or form. I have to fire myself up. I have to daily encourage myself because apathy is a threat to all of us. Indifference is a threat to all of us. And so I have to challenge myself in that. But my role here, and what I've always tried to do with Mental Motivation, is just that, to help shake people up, to break the contract that they've made with mediocrity, to break this mindset that says, I'm going to settle for where I am. I'm not going to go any further, when there is so much more potential in each and every one of us. There's so much more potential in you. Those of you who are listening to my voice or watching me, by video, I know that you know what I'm talking about. I know that you felt this. I know that you've had this. You may not be in that season right now, granted, but there may be someone that's in that season. And tuning into this and getting the information is not just going to help you, it can help somebody else. And so one of the things that I've always also strived to do is get people to be motivated, get people to be firebrands so that they can go out and set flames in their own world, so they can go be mental motivators in their world. And hopefully we can make a difference. I mean, what's the point? What's the point of being here if we don't make a difference? Apathy can affect all of us. And it can develop for any number of reasons, as I said. But, the opposite is where we want to be, which is passion, enthusiasm, taking action in our lives again. Enthusiasm means eagerness. It's zeal, it's zest for life, it's fire, it's devotion, it's being wholehearted, it's being commitment, it's having that serious level of commitment, it's being passionate about things again. Enthusiasm, to have life breathed into you, to have energy breathed into you. In a way, we are all pneumatic tools. You know what a pneumatic tool is? You hear the drills and things and the power drills in car shops. A pneumatic tool is a tool that is driven by air. We are all driven by air, and that's what enthusiasm is. It's the breathing into us of life. It's the breathing into us of energy and inspiration and motivation to be blown up, to be like Super Mario when he eats that mushroom and he gets bigger and he starts plowing through things, man. We want that kind of energy, that kind of power, that kind of enthusiasm. And this is what wars against apathy, is enthusiasm and passion. And so maybe you've been neutralized. Maybe you've been put into that place of apathy. Well, that's the point of this series. That's the point of my Life Domination online coaching program, why I want you to be a part of that. Visit mentalmotivation.com/life domination coaching. Again, it's less than 70 cents a day. I hope your life is worth more than that. You're willing to spend less than $20 a month to be a part of a dynamic group where your life can be changed, where you can be empowered by others, where you and I can work together. And I wanted a system where I could do a more intimate one-on-one coaching with people because I couldn't, it's too expensive and there's not enough time to do it with one-on-one over the phone or meeting people in person. So I wanted to do an online version of this. Again, 5 videos shown in a private Facebook group each week. And you get to work with me and a host of other people equally committed. So again, mentalmotivation.com/life domination coaching, turning apathy into ass-kicking action. That's what we're covering all this week in the Life Domination online coaching program. This is CJ, the Metal Motivator. And remember, in whatever you do, don't suck. Metal up.